Dr. Lori Kupczynski with Texas A&M University Educational Leadership Department. I am so excited. I am standing here in the middle of the Plaza de Angel in Madrid, Spain with 6 of my doctoral students. We're having an amazing study abroad trip. I am so excited with everything we've done. We're on day 2, full days here, and we're looking forward to another 12 with exciting adventures ahead.
I was excited to come explore Spain because I know Spain has a rich history in Roman times and in modern times, and being that my heritage is from Spain originally, it was very exciting to me to come and see the rich history.
I didn't know exactly what I was going to encounter here. It's my first time traveling overseas. I'd been to Mexico and Monterrey and across the U.S., but never to Europe, and I really had no desire to. But when Dr. K approached the class back in November, October last year, and she pitched the idea of study abroad, something just grabbed me.
I knew there's a lot of history in Spain. My grandmother's family was from here, and I really didn't know too much about the culture. I expected to be somewhat like the Mexico City, but not too sure. I'm excited to go around and visit all the different cities. I saw the syllabus and the itinerary, and it seems like we're going to have some really long filled days. I've never had the experience of being on a train, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And just really excited about what Spain has to offer as far as its cultures and the history, really.
Well, before I got to Spain, I was very, based on my prior experiences, I thought, okay, don't drink the water, don't open your mouth in the shower, we're gonna rough it out, expect to suffer. But then I get here and I find out that it's very metropolitan, there's a lot of old and new, and it's very refreshing. I feel like it's the Riverwalk in San Antonio, but with a lot more culture, a lot more history, so I am pleasantly surprised.
I expected to hear a lot of Spanish first off, and I was expecting to feel a little different because I don't speak the language. I know a few words, and also the group that I'm traveling with, most of them know Spanish, so I didn't know if I'd be an insider or outsider from that context. However, Spain in general has a lot of history. Whenever you're in elementary and middle school and high school, you learn a lot about the old kings and queens and palaces and castles and that kind of stuff. So I was really looking forward to seeing a lot of that.
We all look at the last 50 years or so, but in reality, when we look at educational change, we want to go all the way back to the original philosophers, Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, because what they did was so valuable that it holds true today. Think about what we're studying. We have Socratic method of questioning, we have Aristotle's logical fallacy and his logical arguments. We're still studying those in schools today. But then if you fast forward to our time in the last 50 years, what are all the things that we've been doing? That's a huge innovation because in the real world, nobody works in a silo, nobody works by themselves. So to be able to sit down together and have all these minds coming together and thinking about solutions to things, that's a huge issue. So then when we talk about innovations, we're talking about the things that we do in the classroom, in life. Ruben had some great points this morning when he showed us about how we started with a carriage, to a car, to the airplanes, to the rockets. All of those are innovations, and all of those apply to our education because as those innovations occur, our education has to adapt for them.
Segovia, next to the aqueducts. If you ever do come to Segovia, this is one of the top areas that you need to come to. What's really interesting is this was built in the 2nd century by the Romans, and it's still in use today. And something that we found out is that the aqueducts, as you can see behind me, were built without any mortar. Can you imagine that? And any technology, and it's still standing. You talk about architecture, you talk about engineering. This is amazing.
You know, I was expecting to draw parallels from the culture as far as innovations, and I did not expect as much as I got, because I think my favorite city has been Salamanca and the Universidad de Salamanca, and talking about one of the 3 original universities and seeing how the innovations from that university with the first library of any university period to today has been overwhelming for me. I thought for higher ed, it's been pretty overwhelming. So I've gotten a lot more than I expected as far as the higher ed and the education portion of it. The trip to Sevilla has been interesting. It was really cool to ride in the passenger train and to come down to the southern part where you see so much influence of the Islamic culture, and then you see all 3 cultures blend together: the Jewish, Islam, and the Christian. So that's been very interesting to see. When you walk around, you see it in the architecture, and taking a tour of the cathedral. So I think that to me has been, besides the heat and not realizing how hot it is in Sevilla. I don't care if it's a dry hot or not, it's hot. But besides that, I think the blending of the cultures has been the most interesting to me. And knowing that Christopher Columbus sailed from here and we get to see his tomb, that was really, really cool.
So I was really anticipating the class because I really enjoyed Dr. K's class last summer. I've enjoyed every single class in the program. There isn't a single class that I haven't enjoyed. And I think most of all, I've enjoyed the camaraderie from everybody. And so I'm thinking, okay, we're going to take a class and we have the option to take it in Spain. That's not the life. Of course I want to take it.
Innovations is something that is huge in education. We've got to keep up with the times. I know that our kids are coming in nowadays they have iPads at the age of 3. They have an iPhone as pretty much their right hand. And so if we're going to keep these kids engaged, we need to be up with the times.
Well, this is an educational innovations class, and I was very excited about the class because I really didn't know what to expect. We talk about innovations, we talk about new things, or changing things, adapting things, making changes, thus and so. And I have been on one study abroad, a trip to Greece about 3 years ago. So I was pretty excited to see how an educationally based class in a different country would go about.
Well, I think it has enriched it immensely because when we get to a class, we drive 2 hours, get to class, we're rushing. We say, how you doing, Joel? How you doing, Herman? Ruben, how's it going? But here, actually, we had to develop our own little relationships. So it's grown to that extent to where we've been innovative because we became learners that have extended each other's learning. I'm learning from Joel, I'm learning from Herman, I'm learning not just from the professor, we're learning from each other. And it's getting to the point where, we're taking care of each other. It's not superficial anymore, it's deep.
This is the first class I've ever taken that actually parallels innovation and education into the actual class. I mean, we've been working on a collaborative effort, and working a collaborative effort has upped everybody's game, and we've shared information, and we haven't had the singular teaching. It's been a group teaching with the collaboration. It's been really good. Parlaying that over to the modern world where we are educating folks and we don't know if the education is for what career path, because there are so many career paths that are being created due to technology or changes in the economy and globalization, that we don't know what kind of career paths we're educating for. So it's been a really cool experience to be able to see this hands-on, to be with your professor and your classmates day in, day out, talking about all this type of innovation.
We have a lot of differences. Us as Americans, we have a lot of differences from our brothers and sisters here in Spain. But the differences that we have, if we choose to combine them, can make us stronger versus separating us. So it's what we do with those differences. And for me, this whole experience has been, I guess I'm going to take it back and reflect more on it and try to see how do I incorporate the differences at my school district, my friends at home, my family. We have differences too. And okay, how do we take those differences, put them all together in a stew, enjoy the stew, but still everybody and everything keeps its own characteristics.
All I can say is, wow, what an experience and opportunity of a lifetime. When you talk about innovations, what more than leaving out of your comfort zone? I know that in the book we read where there was research done, Bullen speaks about where students are saying where they're bored in the traditional classroom, that teachers just don't seem to care. We have spent more quality time with our professor and our classmates than ever before. We are hand in hand. It's just a great opportunity to study abroad. Everywhere we turned, everything was a lesson.
Yeah, this Spain expedition has been something very, very educational and informing, from the expectations previous to having the trip, and then from getting here and being very excited about the architectural stuff. And then having the setback of having my items taken away from beneath my eyes, and then trying to take 2 or 3 days just to adjust from that and get back into the flow of things. Not to mention our class meetings that we've had in a small group setting, and despite what's going on, how in tune we are to what each other are bringing to the lessons. And then finishing out the trip, also the language factor, still not knowing, but subconsciously discovering that some of the meaning of the words and the phrases are coming back to mind. So it's been a very, very rewarding experience. I am glad, despite the setbacks, that I did attend this trip, and I can't say that I would not come back if I had the chance.
I really enjoyed the trip to Madrid, to Spain. It was beyond what I expected. Everything was very well planned, very well organized. I'm going to tell you that at the beginning I was a little weary, I was a little afraid. It was a different country, but everything was very well organized. The culture is beautiful. All the artwork, all the architectural work was just amazing. I would do this again.
I don't feel like I'm really in another country. I feel like I'm on the Riverwalk, but the food has been very interesting. I can say that I've eaten Taco Bell in Spain because I'm a little homesick. But other than that, I mean, it's been a wild experience. I've really grown. I learned about relationships with my classmates, and we've gotten to know each other a lot. And I think our relationships gotten deeper. We had a crisis, we all came together, we banded together to help that individual out. But more than anything, I'm grateful to the university to allow us as students to participate in this. I think if anyone that ever has a chance to do so, take it. By all means, they take care of you.
Okay, we are in Madrid at the Sol Casal, where we've been for the last 2 weeks. We've had an amazing trip to Spain. We have had incredible hours spent in this room studying as we're focusing on educational innovation and change. And we have traveled across the west of Spain, the south of Spain, have had some interesting train rides, some incredible experiences, and I think we've seen historical monuments that none of us really ever expected to see. So I think the goal of this trip has been reached. We have a couple of days left to wind down. Our focus was innovation and change, and I'd like to think that we are all changed because of our time together. It's something that as we go our separate ways and we leave Spain, I think that we will always remember that we had this. So I think it's been amazing. Great. All right.
Yay! That's a
Yeah. I'm gonna get up. Yeah. Yay.